Here are a few things to consider when you're converting your screen room into a three-season room. You may have a nice screen room that's built out of aluminum framing and it has screens on it, and you want to convert it to a three-season room using stacking windows or those vinyl film 4-track windows. What are some options? Not every screen room, not every porch is perfectly plumb or level. So plumb is looking at it vertically. Does the post have any leaning one way or another? And then as far as the level, the header or the floor, the concrete, is it pitched in any direction? So when you have a screen room and the framing goes around those openings, it doesn't matter if the post is leaning one way or another. It doesn't matter if the concrete is pitched. The tubing that goes around will accommodate for that because the screen doesn't have to be perfectly plumb and level. But when we install the windows, in order for them to operate properly, they have to be perfectly plumb this way and level this way so you can open and close them nicely and they don't have any issues operating. So this is where a potential dilemma occurs. You have a new window that goes in and you want to save some money. So some homeowners will choose to reuse their existing framing to be able to save on some material. In that case, we have to install the window into an existing frame. But if that frame is sitting on the concrete that's pitched down, the window has to be straight. In that case, you will see some gaps. So let's look at some of the pictures here. If you look at this picture here, looking at the very top, in order for it to be plumb or leveled in this case, you will see a gap in here. And the reason for the gap is because this post against the wall is not perfectly leveled. This is going to be an example. And you can see that the posts and the railing, they're leaning, but the window has to be installed straight. And you can see on one side, the window is sitting flush to the bottom of the railing, but on the other side, you see a gap from the inside. So now that gap is not all the way to the outside, so no bugs or rain gets in there, but from the inside, it doesn't look good. So that's one challenge with using existing framing for enclosing the porch with the windows. All right, now let's take a look at a wall system that we installed that has all matching extrusions and it accounts for any pitch down. So if we look at image E here from the inside and you look at the bottom on the floor, you can see that the portion of the wall closest to the house wall is thinner on the bottom and the part that's furthest away and closest to the post is a lot thicker. So if we kind of zoom in there and look at it, you can see how the floor or the tile is pitching away. And let's look on the outside of this. So that would be the E2. From the outside, again, you can see left to right. On the left side on the bottom, it's very small, the profile, but on the right, we have a filler that kind of fills it in, but it's all seamless when it comes to our wall system. If we were to reuse an existing screen frame, then in that case, you would see gaps kind of staggered all along, and the windows would be staggered the way they would have to be installed, so there would be no actual gaps to the outside. So two more things to consider. One is when you have an existing screen room and you have existing profile, whatever color it is, even if it's white and you're installing white windows over it, the white of your existing frame and the white windows may have a different shade of white. So if you like things to be exactly the same, that may not look as great. But if you're okay with two different, similar colors but different, then that would be okay. Then when it comes to the floor track, if you have the existing extrusion that was on the screen room, that will be staying behind and we would need to silicone the outside so no water gets in underneath. It works, but the longevity of it is not that great. If we install our system, we remove all of the old framing, aluminum framing, and we install the new framing. This frame has a floor track that when you put it down, it slopes away from the house, and we drill weep holes at the very bottom. The profile of it is such that the weep hole is hidden. So when you're standing outside, you don't even see that weep hole, but it is there. Competitors will have just a regular U channel that they use for the floor track, and when they drill the weep hole, it's kind of drilled wherever they can, but it's hard to hit the very bottom So what ends up happening is water sitting inside that channel, and bugs, mosquitoes, and things like that breathe in there. The other part that we have with our floor track is we have a rubber seal that gives us an additional protection on the inside. We will silicone underneath, but we also have that rubber seal that once it's fastened to the concrete or the deck, that you don't have any water coming through at all to your porch. So when it comes to your porch and what you want to do, so if you do want to save some money, we can reuse the framing that's already there. If you have a screen room with aluminum framing, just be aware of these other factors that I just mentioned that could potentially be something that you don't like, as far as those gaps and not having a particular floor track. But if you want everything to be seamless, if you want everything to look great, no gaps, and color to match, then I would recommend going with the wall system. At the end of the day, it will depend on your budget and the solution that works best for you. We're here to help you either way. Just let us know and we'll figure out the best solution for you.